Hello everyone, happy Monday. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you popping in here. We are at the new time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I'm here every weeknight now at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we relax and craft and work on a project together. So we are starting block 4 of the Jacquelynne Steves I Love Home block of the month. So here is a picture of block 4. That's the cute guy we'll be starting tonight. And here we are. This is the whole quilt right here, and we've done the 3 other blocks, and we just have this one last one to go. So the first couple weeks in November, this is the first full week of November, we will be working on the block number 4, and hopefully till we're done. But then November 20th, we will be starting the cute little unicorn project. This is from Heidi Boyd. I do have a link to this in my email that I sent out today, and also the Facebook post here. So that will be our next project at November 20th. So that's the deal there. I hope you guys, I know it's a little weird tonight because it's a different time for us. So if you guys do not practice daylight savings time, then nothing's different. I'm here in the exact same place as I always am. But if you did turn your clocks back, then now I'm an hour earlier. So for me, I'm at 8:30 p.m. Central Time now. So awesome, guys. Let's get going tonight. Oh, and I wanted to, can you see back there? We just finished the Wisecraft quilt. I think I have the thing here still. Yeah, the Wisecraft quilt, or the Wisecraft from Blair Stalker, her English paper piece. We managed to squeak that in on Friday and get the whole thing done, and now it's a cute little pillow on my chair over there. So I was pretty happy to get that project done on Friday. But let's get going tonight. We are going to start by transferring the embroidery design. Oh, and you guys, there's a new giveaway for block number 4, and it's a good one. So the folding Olfa cutting mat that I've been using, this is part of the giveaway, and also an Olfa rotary cutter and a pack of endurance blades. So it's a real nice handy giveaway for this block, for block number 4. So to enter, you can just leave a comment, #ILoveHomeQuilt, on this video or any other video from this week. So I think it's now November 6th through November 10th. So anytime in between there, you can leave a post here, whether you're watching live or if it's a replay. You can also do the #ILoveHomeQuilt or #ILoveHomeQuilts, either or, on YouTube as well. So because I have my replays there as well. I know some of you are watching there. So you can leave a comment there. Be sure to subscribe there, and also make sure to like the page. So like the page and #ILoveHomeQuilt, and you will be entered. You can enter every day during this week on any of my videos here. So that's the deal for the giveaway. Again, it's pretty awesome. I'm totally digging. I've used this a ton already. You've seen me use it, but it's so cool. Like, it's like that fold just disappears. It's kind of magic. So I'm liking the folding cutting mat. Great for travel and moving things around. So awesome. Oh, thanks, Julie. All right, guys, now let's get down to business. Let's start tracing the design. Oh, yep, my little pillow's back there, Marianne. All right, guys, gonna flip you around. Let's get going. All right. So you see I got my light table out again. I do have a link to a light table. They're only like $20 these days. I know this was definitely not $20, but they're thinner and they're LED and cordless. Man, they're kind of nice now. But I'm going to use the light table to trace my design to fabric. And here we go. This is back from when we cut all the fabric. We organized it by block. So here is block number 4. I only need right now this piece, so I'm going to just try and leave everything all nice in here still. So we got a lot to do before we get piecing. But here, it's all waiting for us for when we're ready. Okay. So here is our fabric that we'll be doing the house on. This house is awfully cute, isn't it? Did you guys see the guy who... Oh, I missed that. Okay. First of all, what I like to do when I'm tracing a design is I like taping my pattern onto my light table. You can do this at a window as well. So a bright sunny window, this is same exact process, but you know, it's nighttime, so I don't have that luxury here. I know, it's a mansion with giant sunflowers again, as tall as the, taller than the house even. All right, so I'm gonna tape this up here. And I don't think I need another one. Sometimes I'll put it at the bottom too, but I think we're pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna try, this is a little wrinkly, but we're gonna be handling it a lot, so I'm not gonna worry too much about the wrinkles at this point. Luckily with this white fabric, I can see through it pretty well, but I can see it through even better with the light table on. I think my phone corrects for it a little bit, so it probably looks pretty similar, but I can see it a little bit better. So I'm gonna try and center it in here. I don't have to be too exact because we are going to cut down this at the end. I know we got a lot of little leaves again, and we have 2 stems and a couple little petal flowers and a circle and a heart. We got all sorts of applique stuff. So that's why I left 3 weeks worth of working on this block this time. Usually we've been getting them done within 2 weeks, but since this one seemed a little bit more involved, I'm needle turn appliquing all the flowers, the hearts, and the ground, and then everything else I'm appliquing. So this one has an extra amount of stuff for us here. So I'm just trying to center it, just trying to keep, you know, the same amount of space on either side. I'm not paying too close attention though, because we can cut it down. And then, you know, I'm leaving room for the sky and for a little bit of the ground here. And then I'm also going to tape that on as well with the painter's tape. And this I might actually tape to the bottom too. I'm doing both Gretchen again. So if you guys haven't been here before or haven't seen me do the other blocks, let me get one out for you just so you can see kind of what we're going for here. So here are all my blocks that I have done so far. All right, yeah, so here's a good example. This is the, we're gonna do another one of these with the petals and all the leaves and the stems, you know, for this guy here. So that's gonna be the big challenge, I think. But this is how I've been doing all of them. I am appliquing, anytime there's a plant, I'm appliquing it, and all the hearts I'm appliquing, and then the ground. So that's I had to have like some rules. So those were my rules that I set for myself. I wanted to try the idea of embroidery with needle turn just because I think it's adorable and I haven't pursued it a lot. So this whole project to me is looking at that. So plants, hearts, and ground, and then the rest is embroidery. So here are some of my other ones. So plant, ground, hearts. And here's the first one, plant, hearts, and ground. So that's the formula that we're going for here with the blocks. So this one has lots of hearts, lots of plants, and that's why this one's a little bit more involved. I think I'm going to skip, I'm not going to applique these itsy bitsy hearts. I might embroider them still. I don't know if I'll add, I think we'll probably skip these inner hearts. These ones, though, I think we might do. I'm not sure if I want to applique these or embroider them yet, though. They might be fun embroidered into that circle. That might be easiest. We might just do it that way just to get it done faster, but we'll see. But to start off, regardless of what we do, I'm gonna trace this onto my fabric. I'm using a white fabric, so it's pretty easy for me to trace through. If you are using a dark fabric, you could use like a white carbon paper, would probably work well. Although the light table does help a lot. I'm using my water erasable fabric marking pen. It's blue and it's got a little fine tip. I like this one. So, all right, let's get tracing for the night. So if I was to only embroider this, I would probably use that other method that I love, using the Sulky Stick and Stitch embroidery stabilizer. Then I could photocopy or print out the design directly to that, and I wouldn't have to deal with all this tracing. But since we're doing the applique, we're gonna trace this. I think I missed what you said, Patricia. All right. Okay. Cruising along. Let's just try and get this down as quick as we can. We do want it to be fairly accurate though, because this is what we will be using as our guide for the embroidery. Yeah, I'm gonna make the decision right now that I'm just gonna applique these hearts, and I won't put that little heart in. I'm not even gonna trace that because I'm gonna applique over the top. So we're gonna skip tracing that little mini heart. I think I will trace all these little Valentine's-y bloops on here, because we'll stitch those. And we've done these before with like a little fly stitch. And it looked awfully cute. And I think with the first block, we did it with the applique. So we'll applique first, and then we'll add the little bloops after. I hope you guys, you know, we're trying out this new time at 8:30. I hope it's working okay for all of you. You seemed very nice on Friday when I was talking about it. So I think this is just going to work out a lot better. And it is, you know, it's probably, you know, it's a little earlier for most of you guys. So that's probably nice, especially if you're on the East Coast, I'm hoping. But I've been having a hard time getting up in the morning, so I needed to start going to bed a little bit earlier. I needed to figure that out somehow, and I thought, maybe everyone needs to go to bed a little bit earlier. Oh, it's better for you in Atlanta. Okay, that's good. I know it puts it for overseas peeps who are in the future. An hour earlier can make it way earlier, like 4 a.m. sort of thing. So, oh, it's 9:30 there. Okay, yeah, so that's good, Kathy. Then it's not, you know, a 10:30 to 11:30 deal. Oh, and you get to watch live, Norio. That's exciting. I'm happy you're here. Ooh, you're up at 4 a.m., so this early one works well for you, Holly. Man, dang, I'm just trying to get myself up at 6, and that's tough. I'm the worst. I'm trying. Oh man, but I like need that solid, like, I don't know. I need solid good sleep, like 7.5 hours of solid good sleep. Otherwise, I just can't function. It's horrible, and it takes me a while to fall asleep. So I don't know. The hubs you can count to 20, and he'll be dead, like just completely asleep. It's like the magic trick that his whole family has. Yeah, if you guys are just coming in, if you like the page, like the Penguin and Fish page, and do the hashtag I Love Home Quilt, you will be entered for the giveaway. And the giveaway again is that folding cutting mat from Olfa. It's an Olfa rotary cutter and a pack of their new, well, at least new to me, endurance blades, which, you know, in theory are supposed to last longer. And we've been using the one for a while. I think it's about time to change it though soon. But yeah, it's a nice giveaway. Can never have enough cutting mats from rotary cutters and blades and all that stuff. All right, I'm going to draw this heart just in case I decide to embroider it. I don't know. Or do the tiniest applique that ever existed, but that kind of scares me. But maybe that'd be a good challenge, although the rest of this seems like it's going to be challenging enough, so don't need to add more. I don't need to stay so strict to the rules, I suppose. I can applique. I can embroider a heart. I don't have to applique everything, right? All right. This one's got a nice sun patio on here. This is what I would love, a sun patio. Whenever I see a little, or a Three Seasons porch, I suppose. Whenever I see one of those in our neighborhood, like sometimes you can see and they're decorated all cute and stuff. Whenever I see one of those, I'm like, ooh, a long arm quilting machine would fit so nice in there, and you could look out the windows while you're doing your long arm quilting on your giant long arm quilting machine. See, can you see it right in there? Be nice. I have no purpose for having one of those, but I want one. Oh, you have 7 cutting mats. Nice. Everyone needs another one, Patricia. Why not? I know, you can see it, Gretchen, and hear the long arm. A pile of fancy fabric on the wall, and you know, people can see what I would do though is I would have it, I would have the front one of those like garage doors, and then you open the garage and it's all screened in, so in the summer you can just have this completely open and then be doing the long arm machine, right? I know, exactly, Gretchen. A cajillion dollars, exactly. Yeah, they those long arm quilting machines, they are in the like $10,000 to, I don't know, probably $15,000 range. Oh, the light table. Julie, I put a link in the post here. So if you scroll through this Facebook post, like if you're looking in your feed, or if you make this video small where you can see the post that goes with it, it is in there. I have a link. If you scroll probably real close to the bottom, I have a products list. And it's not this exact light up cutting table. It's not this, it's not the same one that I have here. This one's like over a decade old. They're so much nicer now and slimmer, and don't have the giant cord and stuff either, and way cheaper than they ever used to be. So they run about like $20 on Amazon, and I do have a link here if you wanted to check it out. I'm tempted to get a new one just because they're so cool, but dang, I don't know. This one's perfectly fine, so I don't need it. Some longer machines are in the $20,000 to $40,000 range too. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? Oh, he was selling. Oh, someone at the quilt show. So Gretchen at Quilt Festival or International Quilt Market just got done. International Quilt Market is the quilt show, trade show it's just for like stores to go to. The public can't get in. But right after that is Quilt Festival, which is basically the same thing, but open to the public. A few different vendors and stuff. But he had a backlit cutting mat? Dang, that sounds awesome. I'll have to look into that, because then you could see, if your fabric's lining up or whatever. I think, well, and then you could use it for tracing and stuff like this, I suppose, right away too. So that's That's fancy stuff. Yeah, I'll have to, I didn't go this year. I've gone in the past quite a bit, but I don't know, lately I've been skipping out on it. So I haven't gotten to see all those fun new gadgets. And there are always fun new gadgets, that's for sure. Huh, that sounds pretty neat though. Oh man, I'm worried about these petals. I'm wondering if it would be better to do all these petals individually or try them to do them all at once. We did them all at once on the last block, but I think we got into some trouble at the points, and in this case the points are right at the flower, or at this flower center, so I'm wondering if it would be better for us to do a bunch of little shapes. And you know what? We can make them different colors then too. I think we might go that route. I think that's going to make things a lot easier for us to do them each separately. And I like the idea of them being different colors. I like that a lot. That'd be good for scraps. I think that's the plan. I think that's the plan, Stan. You saw the backlit mat on Facebook? Oh, maybe I'll just do a search there. I'm sure it's in my feed somewhere. I get a lot of that. My Facebook feed is very quilt heavy. Very quilt centric. I follow a lot of quilters, and if something's being shared around in quilt land, I see a lot of that stuff. I'm not going to do iron-on for the leaves. I'm going to stick to the applique, or the needle turn applique, Gretchen, just because that's what we've done for this whole thing. So, I don't know. I feel wrong switching the style of applique. And, you know, I'm wanting to get better at the needle turn. So, I think we're getting a little bit better at doing these little small leaves, so I don't know, we'll give it a try. This will be the smallest thing we applique though, I think, these tiny little leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh, there's 6 of them. Do it all at one and put the circle on top to cover the petal intersections. Well, okay, so that's what we did last time, Jenna, but it still wasn't very clean at the points, and here I kind of want to get it right at the point a little bit. I think it'll be cleaner if, here, I'm going to just draw it on, like if we just extend each one just a hair. And then I think it's actually going to go faster too, because it's going to be easy to stitch this arc. And I don't have to stitch the bottom on. So we'll stitch an arc, overlap another arc, stitch it on, overlap another arc, stitch it on. I think it might actually go faster. And I kind of want to, maybe we'll just do it that way anyway, because we did it in the last block, block 3, where we had the petals. That one, we did do it all in one piece. So it'd be I'm kind of curious to see how it feels to do it the other way, where we do it all separate. See which way feels faster, or which one I like better. All right, we're just about done. I just gotta trace all these little leaves. And, you know, I'm tracing it. I'm not embroidering these. So like the house where I drew the lines, I will stitch right on top of that, on those lines. But here on the applique parts, it's more of a guide, the lines, because I'm also gonna have them drawn on the pieces of fabric as well. And then I'm just trying to match the fabric lines up to the stitch lines. And I'm not going to trace these. There's like cute little lines in the leaves, and I'm not going to trace those because I'm going to applique those. Same with these inner hearts. But I think that's it. Just do a quick check. Yep, I think we're good. Oh yeah, Gretchen, that's what I'm thinking too. Like maybe if we just avoid the whole issue of having the fuzzles at the inner points. So the problem we were having is that at the inner points, as we approach the inner points and going, you know, we're stitching to here and then to there. So the inner points were fraying quite a bit, and I think by doing all the petals separately, we'll just completely not have to think about that at all, which will just be relaxing for one. But I do like the idea of all the different petal colors, so I think that will be just fun to see. All right, I'm just undoing carefully because when I'm pulling from the fabric, if I pull up from the bottom, it'll catch all my little edges and start fraying, so I'm pulling from this fabric side, just trying to be careful. I mean, we're going to cut it off anyway, but, you know, I'd rather it not fray all over the place. All right, so I can turn this guy off. And there we go. There's our little blue tracing. And let's get rid of this. Actually, I'm going to leave that there. We're going to start appliquing, getting our applique pieces ready. Let's choose some colors for that and do the applique pieces. And I'm going to trace directly from this design here for the applique pieces. So I'm going to just leave this taped. Then it won't move around on us. So, all right, let's look at this. It'll be easier to see. All right, so I have my little bin of scraps from this project. Ideally, we'd pick from here, but I am pretty limited in my scraps here. So I do have my bigger fabric pieces on deck here as well. All right. So let's see, what do we want to do this time? Let me get the other ones out too, and then we can look at them. I don't want to repeat the same ground. So, okay, I did that green and this dark blue and yellow. Let's see. Why don't we do, I really like this color. Should we do this little pretty, it's kind of like a tealy, green. It's not as bright as these other greens we've been using. It's a little bluier. That might be kind of fun. We haven't used that one yet. I like it. Let's do it. So this will be the ground. When I'm picking colors, I like kind of laying it out, kind of how it'll be in my piece. So that's what I'm doing here. Oops, Rosalie, I'm trying to read what you write. I think tracing the leaves on the background adds problems. Just put the leaves where you want. Well, that's true. I could just put the leaves where I want and not bother with stitching or tracing the lines on. But I think we'll be okay. All right. Let's choose what we want. I think for the last time we did the leaf or the stems in this, that might be kind of fun to do again. Or maybe why don't we switch it up? We could do this, or maybe this might be kind of fun. I like this color. So this could be our stems. And all right, now let's get to the scraps. I think for these bloops, I think I'm gonna just grab and use whatever. That might be kind of fun. And maybe we'll do red in the middle. I don't know. This is feeling like too many decisions at this all at once. But I do want these two for sure, for the ground and the leaves and the stems. So I'm going to just put those aside as a reminder. And then let's just start picking some hearts. So I'm going to stitch the hearts first. I think like it's a cute warm, or it's a nice warm up. Let's see if there's anything in here. I like the idea of a butterfly. Oh, one of the butterflies for the flower center. Oh, now that's interesting. I could do that instead of the heart. I could fussy cut butterflies out of this cute fabric. They're a little big, but we can crop them a little bit. Like that would be pretty cute, wouldn't it? Although they would look like giant butterflies that are taking over this house, which kind of scares me. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. We're gonna do the flower last, just because this is probably the most difficult, and I have to make the most decisions. So we're gonna keep it simple with these hearts. So I'm gonna stick with some of the lighter colors. I do kind of like this stone color. Let's use that for one. What else do we got hiding in here? A lot of these aren't big enough for our needs. I think we're gonna have to Yeah, that's too small too. We might have to get all new fabrics. This might be just big enough. So we'll do that one here, this one here. Yeah, I think our scraps are kind of not useful anymore. I think we need this pink. Let's do this pink for the center one again. Aren't the flowers kind of beside the... Yeah, you know, the flowers are kind of in the foreground, you could say. So I do like that idea of the butterfly. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that in mind for sure once we get that far. So I think this is going to be the center heart. Maybe we can get... Ooh, I got a bunch of pieces here. Maybe we can get one of these little really pink floral things in there, because I don't think we've gone blatantly pink and floral for a heart yet. Let's just start there. Then after that, we'll pick what we want to do for this heart and then work our way this way. But that probably won't be tonight. But we'll get a good start on these. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I think we can prep all these at once, though. Let's do that. Again, I'm not going to bother ironing it. I mean, well, you know what? Maybe I will. Just because it'll be easier to trace. So, all right, up to the ironing board. I'm going to just give a quick little press to these guys. Just make it a hair easier for ourselves, you know? This one doesn't really need it, but why not? Whoa. Almost ironed the cord. And let's see here, I kind of wanted, ooh, a big flowers right there. Yeah, we'll go right there, then we're not wasting a bunch of fabric. Perfect, all right, let's do it. Okay. Oh, you like that color for the roof? Yeah, careful with, I know that iron. Okay, so I'm gonna get my fabric marking pen out again. So this is a little dark and it's quite patterned, so we may have to trace it in a little different way, but I'm hoping to avoid that. So let's see if I can see it through here enough. And I think, yeah, it's just barely big enough. So, all right, so for needle turn applique, I need to trace the shape and still have enough for a seam allowance. So like a little less than 1/4 of an inch, but I'll probably give it 1/4 of an inch here. Oh, the table. Oh, my table here? Oh, I'm at my dining room table. So no, this is just, it's like a little IKEA table. You know, I never thought about putting that in my product thing, but it's an IKEA table. I think it's like 4 feet by 4 feet. Gosh, maybe not even, maybe 3.5 by 3.5 feet. And then I have, it has a little, a leaf that's coming out of one end. So I don't know, it's probably about 4.5 feet by 3.5 feet big. So that's the space I'm working in here on my dining room table. All right, there we go. Oop, let's turn it off. So there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we got, there you go, there we go. My blue line there. I can actually see it pretty well. I'll just go over it one more time. It's probably a little bit difficult to see. Oh, you use your dining room table too. It's probably a little bit bigger than a desk. All right, I'm gonna just prep all these right away. So we're gonna trim this out with the little seam allowance. We'll prep these 3 hearts and then stitch them on, and then we'll prep everything else later. We're gonna do it in just little segments, whatever the brain can handle. Right now I can handle these 3 hearts, and I can't think about what all the other colors are gonna be yet. So we'll start with the hearts. All right, there's that one. I can throw that scrap back away. Then we had this one where I wanted to trace all this pink here. So let's leave that guy go. Would pinking shears be okay for needle turn? Kima, I think, I mean, it'd be worth a try just to experiment, but I suspect that it might be a hair difficult because at each pinking area, like at each inner point, it's going to want to fray a little bit. So I'm thinking you might want to avoid that. I mean, I get the thought because then, you know, for outer curves, you kind of want to pink, basically. You want to cut notches out of it because then there's less bulk. Like I get that idea, but yeah, I think it might just cause a little bit of trouble. So I'm flipping this one up a little bit. You can see me, you know, going like this. And it's because there's a lot of pattern going on. So again, this is not the easiest fabric to trace through. So I'm just kind of double checking my line, you know, but rather than me getting my carbon paper out and some other things going on, I'm attempting to trace all these tonight. But we do some other ways of transferring in my other, for like block 2 and 3, I think we did other ones. So I'm not going to do too much there. But here we go. You can kind of see my blue line there. Just enough that it's my guide for the needle turn. All right, oh, there we go. I'm just going to go over it again really quick. Oh, it's going to be pretty with all this pink, I think. Hehe, I rhymed. All right, let's trim that guy out. Does the blue tape have fish on it? Oh no, it just says blue and then Scotch. It's that blue painter's tape. But that'd be awfully neat. Tape with little fishies on. All right, again, I'm just cutting around my line with about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I might trim it down a little bit. After I kind of rough cut it out here, but for now I think we're good. Ooh, see, look at with that flower in the middle. That's going to be pretty, I think. I don't think we've done one quite like that. All right, so here are the first two. Yeah, I think this is pretty. I like it. Let me think about this. We could. Maybe I'm thinking too much now. It is that time. It's the time when my brain starts getting too picky and then I get in perfectionist mode, which I'm trying to avoid. But we could have it similar. Then it would be like that whole, you know, like it's a house where everything's supposed to be perfectly and symmetrical and whatever. And then down here we could do like the little yellow one. But I don't know. I think that's weird. I think let's stick to this. I think I like the yellow up here. The end. We're doing it that way. All right, this one's much easier to trace. You like it balanced? I think these are the same size. Let's just see. We'll do one in this yellow, and then maybe we will do another one in this, unless we can, you know, we could do it in a different color too, but maybe we'll go all crazy for these, and these should stay similar. You know, we could do all of them in the blue too. Let's experiment. Let's trace one in yellow just so we can see it. And then we'll do another one in blue. And I don't know, play around, see what it looks like. I don't know, do you guys ever find that something, like certain things trigger like perfectionism a little bit? Oh, you're a balanced kind of person, Patricia, how funny. Yeah, like there's just, I can tell, my usual deal is I try and just do things, like do it 80%. And I know we've talked about this before, but if you have a project to do, if you think, oh, I have to have it perfect, then it's really difficult to start it because it's too big of a deal to start it. It's too daunting. It's also hard to make any decision because it has to be perfect. And it's hard to finish because you know, it has to be perfect, right? So if you think, it only needs to be 80%, then you eliminate all those things. It's easy to start because it doesn't have to be perfect, it only has to be 80%. And it's easy to keep going because it doesn't have to be perfect, it only has to be 80%. And same with finishing. And chances are it's gonna get really good, you know, along the way. Anyway, so, ooh, this is hard to trace again. The doing is more important than the perfection. But I can tell, like when it gets late or when I get tired, I can tell that I wanna, my perfection wants to squeak in there again. Maybe not the same fabric, but a similar value would work. Oh, no worry, I'll give that a try too, because there's this darker fabric here that's kind of fun. But let's just look at options today. We'll still start stitching, I think, too. At some point, we'll just make a decision. Oh, thanks, Glennis. So I did spend quite a bit of time choosing fabric in the upfront. So, you know, you saw this stack of fat quarters and stuff. So I've picked fabric, and I do it in a very similar way. Even for like a big quilt, I kind of lay out the fabrics next to each other, and I even do it proportionately. Like, you know, I'm using only teeny pieces for these hearts. I'm not laying, like I'm not going like, oh, this is what this heart should be, because proportionately, you're overwhelmed by that much when really it's only this amount of that color. Whereas, you know, when I added the grass in here, I spread it all out because it is going to be a big segment. So I did that same thing for choosing the quilt colors, just kind of unfolding stuff like for a border so it feels like a border, and then folding it into a tiny square if there wasn't a lot of that color. So now when I'm just using scraps of what I have, it's easy. I can grab anything and I know it's gonna work because I took the time at the upfront. So this is the balanced version, which I'm actually kind of liking. I think it's actually kind of nice. Oh, I kind of like it balanced, which is crazy. I don't usually like things that perfect. I was just thinking, oh, maybe we stay with this color because then we can be bright and crazy over here, but I think we can do that anyway. All right, I think I kind of like this. So it's like this is the house originally, and then when they added on that long arm quilting machine sun porch, they had to make it look like the rest of the house, but with modern products. So they couldn't find the old, you know, tin shiny stuff, so they had to get gold. So that's the plan. Oh, you want to see what the floss is going to look like too? So yeah, so then the floss will all be this color, and you know, we have the giant thing of floss here too. So that's what it'll look like. So all the lines will be this this one color. We're going to just do that, the coral. And this is, if you guys wanted to know, it's DMC, it's 3340. That's what I've been using for all of my blocks to kind of just bring them all together. It's kind of like red work, or yeah, our mascot, the giant cone of floss. So that's been tying it all together too, that I'm doing the embroidery the same. All right, I'm good with this. Let's stick with this so far. I at least like these two, and we'll stitch these two first, and then we can always come back to these two and decide. But for now, I'm going to put those aside, and you know what? I'm just going to leave this on here for the duration of us making the applique pieces, because then we can just go back and trace. So okay, we are back here. First of all, oh my god, did I lose the heart already? Oh, here it is. All these tiny pieces just shoosh away. Yeah, the yellow heart over the sewing room sunroom. Exactly, Patricia. All right. So I'm going to get my little applique pins out. You know, we've been using the glue for the needle turn or for the English paper piecing project. We could actually just put a dab of glue down here to hold this in place, but we were having pretty good luck with the applique pins. So, okay, these are applique pins, and I believe what makes them applique pins is that they are so little. So there's an applique pin, here's, you know, a normal pin. So quite a bit smaller. And that's hopefully for the reason so I don't stab myself. So a little trick is, so our point that we're trying to do here is we're going to try and hold this in place, right, while we stitch. But if we pin it from underneath, then we won't have the point up where we're working with it a lot on the top surface, so we won't stab ourselves if it's underneath. But first, let's try and match. I want to match my background blue line with my foreground blue line. And it's just a guide, so if it gets close enough, then we'll be fine. And I think that looks okay. We could actually probably put a dab of glue on while we pin it, but I don't think we need to worry that much. Okay, so I'm gonna start stitching on this straightaway of the heart. So if we look at this heart, I'm gonna start stitching here. So I'm gonna pin it right here, kind of out of my way. So let's try and hold this in place. All right, so I'm putting the pin from the back to the front. There, see, now the pointy bit is out of our way. Oh, Madeline, you're excited I changed the time. Oh, you love the earlier time. Good. I'm thinking I'm gonna really like it here too. Oh, we need our applique pins. I'm missing something here. So we gotta bring out Zeb, and we got Phil here too. I think Zeb has our needle, our super duper bent straw needle. So we've been playing with this straw needle over the last few projects, and the English paper piecing that we did is really bending it quite a bit, but it's still working for us, so I think I'm going to just continue using it. All right, and we need some thread. So I've been using this 50 weight Aurifil thread, and I've been using this gray. I think it's called Dove. Here, if you want to know the exact colors, this is what I'm using here. It's probably 2606 is the color, would be my guess. I'm using 50 weight. Even a thinner thread would work probably even better. This gray kind of over the course of all the fabrics kind of blends pretty well, so we're gonna use that. So I'm gonna grab a bit. Yeah, it's a well-used needle. So the reason we're using a straw needle, a size 10 straw needle, or a Milner's needle is another way to say it, but they're longer than a typical needle. Let's see if I have one of those. Yeah, see, so here's my normal sharps, just like a quilting needle or something. The straw needle, even though it's curved right now, is a bit longer. And the only reason it's bending is because I'm using such a thin needle. This is a size 10, so the bigger the number, the smaller the needle. But like here's another one that probably wouldn't bend. This is, I think, maybe, I don't know, an 8 or 7 or something, but look how much thicker it is. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this one I'm guessing would not bend from me using it, but since I am using this really thin one, it's bending a little bit. All right. Get a little bit of thread. This should be enough to get us around this heart. Okay, I'm going to tie my little knot, wrapping it around the end and pulling it through. Okay, let's start this guy. Man, I'm getting nervous all of a sudden. It's always so funny, you know, we don't work on this project for a couple weeks and it's like, oh man, Needle turn applique again. Man, I can't even hold the needle. All right, now we're ready. So again, needle turn applique, it's always easier to start on a straightaway, so not at a point. There's a lower point down here and then the curve of the heart up here. I'm going to start at the straightaway. And after we have a few stitches on, then I can remove my pin just because this is such a small piece. All right, so I'm folding it so it's folded on the blue line on my top piece, my applique piece, and I'm trying to kind of match it up with my blue line behind here, which is my guide as well. So I'm coming up from the back and just catching about 2 threads of this applique piece. How do you know which weight of thread to use for what? I'm using, well, technically it just depends on your fabric and your needle. So what most people like doing is, you know, I'm no expert for one, let me just say that, because there are a whole lot of rules that people have for their thread and all that. What my concern is here is mostly that the size 50 thread is thinner than usual. So this is, how do you know which weight of thread to use for what? Okay, so this is 50 weight. So the higher the number, so like 80 weight would be thinner. So the higher the number, the thinner the thread. So this is 50 weight, which is pretty thin. If you compare it to other thread, like 12 weight, for example, you can use for embroidery and stuff sometimes. This is 12 weight, so look how much thicker 12 weight is. I mean, quite a big difference, right? So this is 12 weight, this is 50 weight. This would be super duper difficult to stitch through and catch. You know, I'm just catching the teeniest little edge here. This would leave huge holes and it would be super visible. So I'm using a super thin, well, thin thread, not super thin, thin enough thread. I've heard that if you do a super thin thread, or like a different, like a silk thread or something, it might cut through the cotton fabric a little bit, but I'm not sure on all that. But my main concern is that I know that this is a thin piece of thread compared to some of the other thread I have around here. So that's how I make my choice. And this 50 weight Aurifil I know is pretty popular in the quilting industry. So I've heard other quilters say that they like it, so I'm just kind of basically going on their guidance there. But for me, I'm looking at a piece that's not going to put huge holes in my fabric and that it'll be easy to catch the little edge. And that's why I'm using the small needle as well. Yeah, Patricia, big difference between 50 weight and 12 weight. 50 weight you can, or 12 weight I mean, the fat one, you can actually embroider with and see it really easily. It's nice for like decorative top stitching and stuff. When we sew in the machine, what weight is that supposed to be? I've been using the 50 weight, so I've just been using this for everything that I've been made over the past couple of years. Like I used it for the Splendid Sampler quilt as well. Before the Splendid Sampler, I was using a little bit thicker thread, but that's just because I didn't know any better, and this in theory will leave smaller holes and everything too. So I don't know. I'm using the 50 weight Aurifil. So far, so good for me. But yeah, I'm using it for this handwork here, and I'm using it for the machine too. All right, so we're going around a curve. I'm going to cut a few little notches out, and what that's going to do is just reduce the bulk, because all of this fabric in this seam allowance has to get tucked into that bulb of the heart, and that's a lot of fabric to fit in there. So I'm reducing the fabric a little bit this way. And I'm also going to cut into the point while I'm up here. So because for the point, this part of the fabric has to go this way under the point, and this part of the fabric has to go the other way. So we need to allow the fabric to do that by cutting that little slit out of there. So now we're kind of prepped for this whole side of the heart. You could probably pink and shears the edge for just this part. I actually, when I'm doing circles or a circle, when I'm sewing like a circle to a circle and I know I'm going to turn it right side out where it is going to have that bulk, I'll cut a circle with the pinking shears. Instead of cutting notches all the way around by hand, I'll do it with the pinking shears. So I have done something like that before. But yeah, you could. But you know, if you have that little scissors out here anyway, you know, and I'm only cutting a couple little deals. I don't need to get the pinking shears out for that. But yeah, if you had a big heart or something, I suppose you could. But I wouldn't do it until you need to. All right. I'm just trying to start to shape this heart. Sometimes it's easier with my fingers than the needle. All right, still using my blue lines as a guide, and we're gonna go slowly. We're gonna go one stitch at a time. I'm gonna actually fold this whole thing under and then just try and shape it a little bit. Oh, that doesn't always make it very pretty, but all right, I think we got it here. Starting the curve of the heart. And in theory, maybe my seam allowance is a little big yet. I could have trimmed it. It didn't need to be you know, it's still kind of at that 1/4 inch, which is a hair big. This is why we start with the hearts, so we can get a little warm up on these inner and outer curves. And now that I think of it, I should have started with the big heart for our practice one. Oh yeah, there's 2 fireplaces in this house. My clear and great video. Oh, awesome, Patricia. Thanks. Oh yeah, there's gonna be horses in the backyard of this house, sure. Then I can see them on the sun patio when I'm doing my long arm quilting, the long arm quilting 3 Seasons porch. All right, so here is the last kind of bit. I'm gonna stitch one more for the top of the heart bloop, but then I'm going to start our little tricks for the inner point. And the inner point, the first trick is, instead of, you know, we're coming from the bottom up through both fabrics, we're gonna switch and come down through both fabrics, so we're not lifting it up. Because what we have to do now is avoid, you know, our seam allowance as it comes to the point is getting smaller and smaller and smaller till the seam allowance is nothing. So we need to not have it fray as much as possible. So by going downward, our little frayed bits won't pop out as much. And right now I'm going to take out this pin. We don't need that anymore. And all right, so besides going down, I'm going to fold the second half of this over quite a bit, more than it needs to be, because that will help us with this inner point here. So now let's tuck those fuzzles under. Ooh, good, I think that works. So I'm holding it down with my thumb, and now instead of coming up through both fabrics, I'm only coming up through the back, and I'm going down through both fabrics. All right, now I'm gonna come up again in the back fabric. All right, let's tack those fuzzles down. And one more, and I'll be at the center point. Oop, a little too far. There we go. All right, let's tack down that center point. This is the inner point of the top of the heart. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Gretchen. Oh yeah, the cleavage of the heart. Yep, that's where we're going now. And I'm gonna just tack that one more time in that spot. Oh, no problem, Glynis. All right, it does help going straight down through this part and this folding over the edge a lot more. Once I learned those two tricks, and I learned that while we worked on the Splendid Sampler. Once I did learn those two tricks, my inner points got so much better because they were not good and I couldn't figure it out, but that's what did the trick. So, all right, we're done with that side of the heart. So I'm going to poof out this side now, just a hair till our lines are matched up again, and I'm gonna stick to going up only in the back. Oop. And then, uh-oh, I think I just pulled the thread out of the needle. Nope, just barely. And then I'm gonna go straight down, and this time I think I'll probably pull the thread out, hopefully not. Oh wait, here, now my hand's free. There we go. There we go. And I'll do one more like this, and then I will go back to normal, where I go up through both fabrics instead of just the back fabric. All right. First off, let's trim our heart again a little bit. And actually, you know what? We might be pretty good now. This might be a good place to stop for the night. We made it past the difficult part, which is the inner point there, and we can start tomorrow by finishing up this other side of the heart. We'll trim it like how we did this one, and then we can work on this bottom point as well. So I think that will be the deal. I got a little bloopy again. I don't think I've had a perfect heart here yet, but that's okay. I think, you know, there is room for improvement clearly, but I'm liking it so far. So we'll pick that up tomorrow, and we'll do, I had another one of these. Oh, it's right here. Jeez, I'm losing them all. So I think we'll probably get at least these other two down. Yep, Kathy, the cleavage is done. So perfect. So you can start to see a heart there. And yeah, I think we'll at least get 2 more done tomorrow, would be my guess. I don't know. Hopefully. We'll shoot for 2 tomorrow. And then this guy will be the next day. And then we will tackle the flowers. The last thing we're going to do is the ground, because that'll cover up our flower stem there. And once we're done with that, we'll embroider the rest of it. And I do like these hearts now that I'm seeing them even more. I think we'll embroider these guys on too. I think that'll be a cute little extra touch. So, all right, we are ready for tomorrow. I am going to leave this all right here, and we'll call it a night. So I'm going to flip you around, and we'll be good to go. All right, hello again. Yes, we got a good start tonight, Sally. I think we got it all traced, got the little, there you go, there's the little heart started. See, the one side's a little bloopy, but that's okay. I'm liking it. A good warm up again, getting back into the needle turn. So awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, for joining me earlier. We are starting now at the 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I think it'll be good. A little earlier. A little earlier for everyone, unless you don't have daylight savings. So that's the new deal here. The replay of this will be living here on Facebook and also on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. And you can go over to YouTube for an additional entry. Just comment on this video or any of the videos that will be coming this week with the hashtag #ILoveHomeQuilt. And you'll be entered for the awesome Olfa prize. So again, it's the magic folding cutting mat, and the rotary cutter, and the rotary cutter and the blades. Oh, Patricia, the pillow's right there. So I'll bring that out tomorrow. I should have thought of that. We finished it on Friday, and just in the nick of time. I think we went kind of a little ways over, but I wanted to get that project done. Get the pillow done, not leave it hanging anymore. But I'll bring it over tomorrow so you guys can see it again finished. But there it is. You can see it. Boop, right there. All right, guys. Thanks again. I will see you tomorrow. Same time, 8:30 p.m. Central. Have a great evening. Good night.